Having a baby is one of the most exciting times of your life, but many parents worry about how to introduce their new bub to an existing family pet. Well, with us to discuss this and give us her expert opinion is Sally, an Education Officer from the RSPCA. Welcome to the show, Sally.
Thank you very much.
And welcome to...
This is Ellie, and she's my golden retriever. She came from the RSPCA about 5 years ago, and she was surrendered by a family who the kids said they were sick of her.
Oh, how can that be?
Well, unfortunately, we see a lot of animals that come in because people don't plan for children and pets.
Well, I was going to ask that. So what do we do if we have a pet, i.e. a dog or a cat? How do we prepare our pet to meeting the newborn bub?
Well, start planning early. That's the best bit of advice that I can give you. As soon as you know that you're pregnant, it's time to start planning. And there's a lot of things that you can do to make the transition really, really smooth. So things like have the hard conversation. A lot of us have animals who we treat as children. And then once the children come along, the animals kind of get put outside and not spoken to anymore. So try very early on to make that decision about whether or not you're going to allow your dog to be an inside dog when the baby comes. And if it's something that you don't want to do, start training the dog early on to its new life and perhaps introduce it one day at a time. And so by the time the new baby comes along, the dog isn't really associating the baby's arrival with its new outside lifestyle. Some really great things that you can do is to train your dog early on to walk by a pram or walk near a pram.
Oh, really? So you do practice
runs? So take the dog and the pram out without a baby in it, and walk it around the street, get the dog used to it.
Okay, that's not a bad idea rather than being dragged along by the dog.
Absolutely.
So now that we've had the baby, so to speak, and what sort of reaction can we expect from the dog or cat to a new baby being brought into the house? Something that cries a lot.
Smells different, makes lots of noise, and it's probably going to affect their routine. So I guess perhaps one of the first things that you can do is introduce your dog and your cat to the new baby kind of formally. It sounds ridiculous, but it's really important, and it will affect the relationship that the dog has with the baby from the time that it comes home. So making it a positive thing is really, really important. So I'd suggest, certainly for Ellie, food is a very big thing in her world. And if I give her lots of food, she associates that experience with something positive. So will we get the baby?
Yeah, let's get the baby.
You can hold the baby.
Oh, hello. We'll call this one Vladimir.
So the baby's come home, you're tense, you've got the dog's looking at the baby. What do you do? Ensure that you've got your dog on a lead, because that way the dog's under control at all time. Sit the dog down near the baby, show the dog the baby. Ellie?
Little Vladdy.
There you go. So she can see, the dog can see the baby, and then you can feed the dog or give it its favourite toy.
Whoa.
And what the animal will do will associate positive, happy things. So every time the dog's around the baby, if you give the dog a treat or you give it its ball or you do something that the dog really values, it's going to associate the baby with positive rather than negative. If you can just try and be calm and have people there to help you, have your partner or the grandparents or someone that the dog knows to help you introduce, it'll be a really positive relationship.
So that will help overcome the jealousy that a dog may feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think taking the dog for a walk when you go out with the baby is another great thing, because you're spending time with the dog. And very often when you get home with a new baby, you're tired and you don't have time. That's an opportunity for the dog to go out with the baby. And again, it's really positive. The dog's happy to be there because it's doing something that it likes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's like that sort of saying, especially with cats, that people say, oh, you know, keep cats away from babies. Be careful that cats don't jump into the cot or the bassinet because they'll smother the baby. What do you do to overcome that?
Well, it's true. Cats love sleeping up high. They love snuggling into warm hot water bottles, and that's exactly what a baby is to them. And cats are also extremely curious and I guess a bit territorial and can be a little bit jealous. So by introducing the cat to the baby, again in a controlled situation, allowing the cat to walk in the baby's room, supervised. If you don't allow the cat to come into that room, every time you leave the room or go into the room, you can bet that the cat's going to be trying to get in, scratching at the door. So just making it part of your daily life for the cat to be allowed to go in and out while you're there. Strategies for people who have cats and then have babies is to put a fly wire door on the baby's room.
Okay, that's a great idea.
And friends of mine have done things like put tin foil in the baby's cot. Not when the baby's in there, of course, but when a cat jumps on the tin foil, they hate that feeling, so they'll jump out.
I must say I once found our cat up on the changing mat, and I think it's because the cat realised I spent so much time with the baby up there, thought, aha, this is one way to get my attention, was to be up there. Yeah. But soon learnt not to be up there anymore, that's for sure.
Water bottles.
Oh,
They work extremely well. Squirter bottles are great to keep cats off things that they're not allowed to go onto.
Oh, excellent.
They're kind of, they don't hurt them, but they give them the message loud and clear that they're not allowed there.
Okay, wonderful. Now that babies have sort of grown up a little bit now and they're now toddlers, so they may be crawling around or, obviously more active and wanting to pull tails or pull ears.
Yeah. That's a really dangerous time for kids and dogs. And as parents, the mantra that I say to every parent that I meet is supervise your animals. Supervise or separate. Never leave your child alone with a dog. Even a dog as beautiful as Ellie, because toddlers aren't able to read the signs that a dog's giving. They can be really subtle. They can be things like the gentle growling or change in the ears. And it's stuff that toddlers just can't read.
Well, thank you very much for your words of wisdom of how to, introduce babies and toddlers to dogs. And thank you so much, Ellie, for coming on the show. You've been beautiful and so patient.
She's a great
wonderful.
dog. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.